Dang it. I was 1 week off. So those who saw my prediction video for chapter 200 of Black Clover, part of my prediction was that Licht was going to join in the fight against the demon. Obviously, you can still go look at you need to watch the video. Just go look at the thumbnail. I called it. I mean, it wasn't some big like major plot twist that sounded outrageous, and I had some million dots connected to it. It's just that I thought it was going to be chapter 200, but it's chapter 201. Regardless, we still got it. So this chapter, I'll get to the more exciting stuff. So first off, let's just go over what happened first. So the demon got to the highest floor of the tower. He's getting ready to leave, and the Shadow Palace, and he's like, all right, time to get out of here. But standing in his way to exit is Licht. Again, 1 week off. I was so close, but Licht is he's ready to prevent him from going anywhere. And meanwhile, the demon, who still we don't have a name for him. Why do we not have a name for him? I just don't like calling him the demon. But the demon, pretty much, he's got the grimoire he took from Patri, that he now is a 5-leaf Black Clover grimoire. And he's like, well, I couldn't get the one from you, but, I got this one instead. So all's good in the end. So if you'll excuse me, I'm going to leave. And it looks just like, nah, you're not going anywhere. But obviously, this guy's just like, we still have unfinished business. So he uses his word magic to use a spear of lightning. Actually reminds me a lot of Laxus's Heavenly Halberd. You know what I mean, from Fairy Tale. But meanwhile, Licht pulls out, it's still the second sword. I believe that's the Demon Dweller sword, if I'm getting my names correctly. I get the names mixed up on the swords quite often. But he ends up just using the Shield of Earth, makes a bunch of swords come out, which actually we get an explanation here of why exactly. Remember thinking back a couple chapters when he was up against Asta, he was able to use his Sword of Storms, or was it Storm of Swords? Yeah, Storm of Swords, sorry, and create a whole bunch of different swords coming out, and it wasn't just magic swords, there were also normal swords mixed up in there. And after he uses his bind word, he makes pretty much the ground itself come up and grab Licht, and grab Licht's sword. I hope that squeaky of my chair isn't too loud, sorry. But he talks about how his word magic can actually create matter, like pretty OP. It's sounding a lot more like a little bit still OP, but a lot more balanced than what it was originally translated. It was like reality warping word magic, which just was way more than we need at the moment. But he ends up creating this iron line. So he's talking about how he even says that it's his magic absorbing sword instead of, obviously we know it as the anti-magic sword. And I actually think this is confirmation for my theory that because we see that whenever Licht touches the swords, all that black, like ashy layer kind of crumbles away as long as he's touching it. And I think that the anti-magic aspects of it are kind of like a defense system, so other people could not get in there, or probably in relation to when he became demon-like, when it became a 5th-leaf grimoire. But somehow when Licht's able to touch it, it's not anti-magic. It seems more of like a higher level of their abilities, but instead it's absorbing, or just, well, I guess we've only seen the one. But my whole theory is that it's closer to the original power, because if you've ever read the one-shot, Asta's power wasn't anti-magic. His swords actually could steal magic. And if it's something like this, it's because that's what it kind of seems like with this one. Because when you go back and he ends up absorbing the Spear of Lightning with his sword, that quick swing back, I think it makes a little bit more sense. Obviously, that's something we were able to see with when it was still in its anti-magic form. But I feel like that following up with what else we've seen, the fact that it's more abilities and more to kind of display, that it might fit this. Again, that's just oh cool, my prediction, because I read the one shot that is doing something. But while he's bound up and you have the demon throwing this iron lance at him that he created, here comes in the elf that took over Charlotte's body, grab the spear and just kind of move it off to the side so it'll just smash right past him. And that's when he's just like, oh, there's more there's more elves and just not the apostles of Saphira or whatever. He just doesn't seem phased at all. And that's the thing about the demon that I think is the most intimidating. Obviously, he's very OP. Like, his magic is pretty broken, and he can just say stuff, and he can create things around him. But it's the fact that even, like, because in this one, like, look back when he first got damaged by acid, you know, when they're fighting and they chipped his wing, like, it wasn't like, oh, I got cut. It was like a big chunk, well, not a big chunk, a noticeable chunk of his wing, and I think his arm was missing, and then he just said heal, fixed. Like, he just seems way more confident than he is, and I'm wondering if just, like, straight, like, cutting his head off or cutting him in half would really kill him. A little bit relevant to the chapter, but right after the elf who took over Charlotte's body shows up, here comes in Giga Chad himself, Yami, and Yami's just like, yo, what's going on? What the fuck? What's this guy? And they're just like, oh, this is a demon. He's just like, huh. I wasn't sure if those are real, but it looks like that's how we're gonna go with things. So interesting. But meanwhile, he's able, you know, he's getting in team fight with the elf took over Charlotte's body, and they're going at it, and he's still able to use his magic to be useful against this demon. His dark hole, again, it's a really good ability. It just seems, what's weird about it is it's not like, hey, a black hole, it's gonna, you know, just be a black hole and absorb everything around it. It seems to only work towards magical attacks, because I feel like if it was just like took the attributes of black hole, he'd just shove that in his face and he'd be done. But he's still helping. He's, you know, him and Elf Charlotte are doing the best they can, but all the dude really has to do is say, like, wither, and all those vines that the Elf Charlotte created, gone, just crumbled away. But it was likely, I think it looks like they predicted it. They saw it coming, because here comes in Yami following up with a dimension slash. And again, this is where I said that I don't think that just cutting the dude in half is going to kill him. Like, he cuts off one of his wings, and he cuts off the dude's arm, and he just doesn't seem phased at all. There's not even like a, oh, that's surprising face. Not, you know, there wasn't like any damage indications, which is one thing. You know, that's usually one of the signs that, like, things are starting to turn, obviously, for enemies. You see damage signs, you know, scratches, coughs up of blood, anything like that. But the fact that if no damage signs from this, like, it's the facial expressions that really get me, because he is not even like a, oh, damn, that sucks. It was just like, he looks like he's barely noticing. So I'm wondering if there's a way that you have to specifically kill him, maybe he has a core and you have to destroy the core or something. I don't know. Maybe you have to destroy the book. I'm not too sure on that. Very, very creepy though, like, for real. And then happened. On the last page, when waking up Finral, NERO shows up and talks to him. So this is a theory that a lot of people have had for a while. I've been more on the, I will admit, I've been more on the fence on the whole, like, NERO being someone specific, maybe reincarnated. I'm wondering if this is going to have anything to do with the first Wizard King, or maybe the other half of, like, because they said the Lick's only halfway awakened. Maybe it's because his soul's split into two. The first Wizard King being inside NERO's body would be really interesting. Curious to know how that would go. There's a lot of things that could come out of this. It could be a whole new character. We don't know. But he wants him to take him to the skeleton of the demon. The first one that we saw, obviously, from the legend of the first Wizard King. Blowing my mind here. And I think that's the weirder part about it, because obviously, like, NERO talking, it's like, what the fuck? Like, there were theories behind it, but now I'm more curious of what does the skeleton of the previous demon have to do with anything? Also confirm that it's a demon, so it's not like some weird monster. I'm actually very curious of what all the demons are like, and I think it'll depend on if Tabata wants to explore the world out, because what's weird is the demons don't seem to really know each other that well. So I'm wondering if maybe there's like a demon for each region. Like, we'll see this kind of like more classical demon, and then maybe we'll see like a Japanese demon in the land of the sun. Maybe we'll see like a South American, or I don't know, Norwegian or Russian demon or something. More of different styles. But anyway, I don't want to ramble on about that. Not important. The demon what is the hell is the skeleton gonna do anything? What is NERO gonna do anything? I'm fumbling around my words one, but it's not like from this I'm like, oh my god, I need the next chapter. I'm so excited. I'm more of like kind of like sitting off, like not too sure what to even make of this. Just like, I'll just sit here and it'll happen. And I'm intrigued enough to be patient, but I have no idea what is going to transpire for this, because this was such a there's so many weird plot twists happening, and it's been such a good time, and it just makes you wonder, like, because it just does seem like Tabata has all this had all this planned out. I think he's definitely one of the mangaka that have clearly shown that he's planned out further than a lot of people, because obviously there's stuff that they plan in the long run, but like it seems like everything Tabata's done has been planned. And I'm wondering, like, what has he done in this arc that we haven't noticed that he set up for the future? Head scratcher. You know, we could see like a random character in a background panel we didn't even pay attention to is actually someone important that maybe like 100 chapters from now, someone will be like, you know, I recognize this character. Go back and damn, that setup, that foreshadowing. I don't know. Either way, tell me in the comments what you think about this one. Like, this was definitely a surprise. I obviously like the cool, like, licked moments. They had Charlotte, Elf, and Yami show up. Really cool combo. The creepiness of this demon continues, and then just NERO in general is just like, what the fuck? Other than that, like I said, drop a comment below and what you think about this chapter, how you thought about all this. And hopefully get you to befriend the like button and the subscribe button and check out my other videos. But other than that, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed. Again, leave a comment below. I'm very curious what other people think about this. And thank you all for listening. Bye.